Hey, Northside Community, here Arnoldo. Welcome you back to the Northside Community Podcast. Today we have a special friend of mine from a long time ago. We have Roxanne. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Are you excited and nervous?
I'm excited and nervous at the same time. This is my first time being in a podcast.
Oh, how cool. Well,
Yes.
You know what? I've never hosted a podcast. I just jumped into it and I'm learning as I go.
Yes.
And I think that's how life goes, for the most part.
Awesome.
So I invited you on because for several reasons. One is that you're part of my network. I know you. We're friends. And I want to talk about the different aspects of our friendship because they're really interesting, actually. And I think a lot of people will maybe learn something and maybe be curious enough to reach out to one of us because we have interesting lives, you guys. We actually have really exciting lives and we want to spread the excitement and the joy with anybody who hears the call. So on that topic, tell us who you are. Your background, just whatever you want to share specifically about the Northside. How does your life revolve around Northside?
Awesome. So, hi everyone. My name is Roxanne Quiroz, born and raised here in Northside, still live in Northside. I currently work full-time in higher education. That's been my career. And I recently started a side business as a virtual assistant where I help small business owners with tedious tasks so they can focus on whatever they're passionate about, which we'll talk more a little bit later. But yeah, being in Northside has definitely taught me a lot. To be honest, I wanted to get out as soon as possible, especially after I graduated from high school. But eventually I still stayed local. I went to UNT and that's where me and Arnoldo actually connected a little bit more.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I've appreciated living in Northside just because, I live really close to my family. My grandma lives like 2 minutes away. All my sisters and aunts and uncles live not too far away from Northside, and also because when I've traveled, when I come back from travel, I feel like I am blessed to be where I'm at. So I've learned over the years to appreciate more, and honestly, like I love being close to everything around Northside, especially downtown, everything where it's popping. The nice restaurants, everything. And also all the places I've worked with has always been close to home. So I have never commuted more than 30 minutes or 20 minutes.
So yeah, that's nice, right? So Northside is very actually strategically located.
Yes.
That's convenient, like you pointed out. We're 10 minutes from downtown? Not even?
Yes,
Not
exactly.
even 10 minutes? It's like 5 minutes from the stockyards, depending on where you are, 5 to 8 minutes. And then you have 820, also like 5 minutes away, 35 or 30.
Yes.
Everything, all the highways. So it's very convenient. So tell us more about like growing up in Northside. I think that's important so that we can walk people through I think a lot of people always question like, what relationship do you have to Northside? Especially in a podcast that's called Northside Community.
Yes.
That's always like, what is your relationship to that? So.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I feel like now as an adult, I feel more connected.
Okay.
As a child, I wasn't really connected. I just was, go to school and then go home and stay home. Basically, that was me. Most of my friends were mostly my neighbors, but really I had no connection. Like it was just me being at home, to be honest.
So to put you on the spot, and this is a very difficult exercise, but what words, like if you had to choose 3 words to describe your growing up in Northside, what words would you choose? And you can be honest because we understand that Northside is changing.
Yes.
So not now, but growing up, what words would you choose?
I would say maybe uncertain. Yeah, just because there would be times where I wouldn't feel safe. Or there would be times where I grew up around people where they will just take wrong decisions. And I didn't want to go that route. And I'm like, that's why I felt like I needed to get out from the beginning.
Right. Even as a kid, you felt that?
Yes, I felt that.
Okay.
I was like, I don't want to be around here.
Unsafe.
Yes, unsafe, uncertain, just didn't know like who I guess to look up to in a sort of way.
See, I think it's important to share that because I feel like a lot of people share that as well. They have that feeling and they had that childhood.
Yes.
It's people in Northside. Clearly, there's a lot of us. I feel like you feel.
Yeah.
But I'm tired of talking about myself. I want to share other people's perspectives. It's important. And then we can see, we have a shared experience.
Yes.
So, and being honest, I think is very important. because we understand as adults, we now have the tools and the capacity
Yes.
to look back at our former selves and say, oh, I felt unsafe, or I felt insecure.
Yes.
And that's okay, especially if you have the tools, once again, to see that
Yes.
and to change and to say, well, I don't want that life for me. I don't want the life for my kids or for my family. And you can make the changes that are necessary, right?
Yes.
So you brought one of those up,
Yes.
like travel,
Yes.
right? Like that's one of the tools that you use to, I don't know, I don't want to use the word cope because that almost sounds negative, but to what? What do you
have a change of environment? So, like I said, born and raised in Northside, I've been here all my life. And, there's been thoughts of like moving, but at the same time, again, I'm close to home. And it's cheaper, right? I own my own home.
It is cheaper, yeah.
I own my own home, so it's
still.
still. So might as well invest it and just explore other places instead of just staying in one or moving to another location. So that's why I try to travel at least 3 times a year just to get out, have a change of scenery, especially when it comes to like hiking. So hiking is one of the things that I love to do as a hobby. And I try to travel somewhere where I can hike. See mountains. Mountains is my to-go place. So yeah, and then once I come back, like I feel more refreshed. And I'm like, okay, I'm back in my little quiet home, my little quiet space where I live rent free.
my little nook.
Yes. So yeah, and it gives me where I'm staying, it gives me an opportunity to save costs so I can travel.
Yeah.
So,
would you say that what has travel done to you? Like, how do you use it? You came out in the first magazine.
Yes.
Also, people, so if you don't know, I always bring it back to the magazine because it's a really important tool for sharing stories and the characters that are going to come back and you're going to see all these people again. But you come out in the magazine and we highlighted a 2-page story on how you travel and the hiking trails that you do, and you're still doing it.
Yeah, still do it.
And I wanted to highlight you because I thought, I need to highlight positive stories. That's our whole theme for Northside Community, is rebranding as a place that's not just negative. And we all see the negatives. Yeah. But how do you see the positives too? And what are you doing with your life that can change, the narrative, not just for the Northside, but for yourself? It all starts with oneself, right? Yes. So tell us more about how hiking has helped, I don't know, your mental health, or what is it for? How do you use it?
Definitely started with my fitness journey.
Okay.
I used to do boot camp outside. And I've noticed that just being outside in nature definitely helps with my mental health. So I try to find more ways where I can still exercise outdoors without all the high intensity workouts, where I can still enjoy it more.
I can't do high intensity at all. I check out.
I can't do it anymore.
I do it one day and I'm like, I'm done.
I get it. At this age, I can't do it anymore. But back then I was really, I really was into it. And then I thought like, well, I actually do enjoy being outdoors. It's like, what are some other ways I can still be outdoors without, without doing the high intensity workouts? So then that's when I got into running. Running is still kind of high intensity, but I can choose my pace. Got into running, and then I started doing training for half marathons.
Oh, okay.
And when I started running from half marathons, I'm like, well, if I'm going to run a half marathon, I want it to be somewhere different instead of the Trinity River.
There's not enough trees in the Trinity River.
Exactly.
For me. I need more trees.
Yes.
Like in Austin.
Yes.
Where you have shade everywhere,
So then my first half marathon was done in Lake Tahoe. I did it for my 30th birthday, and that was in the mountains.
Wow.
So once I saw that scenery, I was like, okay.
Pardon my ignorance in geography. Where is Lake Tahoe?
So Lake Tahoe is by California and Nevada. Yes. It's like splits between Nevada and
cool.
California.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
And I saw the mountains, and that was like the first time I fell in love with the mountains. So I was like, man, I'm going to incorporate hiking more. So I stopped running now, and hiking is my go-to.
Okay.
Yes.
So if I can give you some unsolicited advice for your travels, because I've been around and I want to continue. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
If you like mountains, like to me, the ultimate mountains are in Switzerland.
Oh, yes.
Oh, girl. So I went I don't know, like a year ago. 'Cause
Yes.
Time flat. Time is like this weird thing.
And you were having dinner in front of a waterfall. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yes. Okay, so that's like a dream come true.
Yeah.
You have to save money
Yes.
to go there, but you can do it on like I'm not loaded at all, and I was able to afford it.
Yeah.
So it's still accessible, I would
Yes.
say. You know, I did my backpacking. I got a nice backpack. Went out there. Talk about majestic. The rumors are true. Like Switzerland is crazy.
Yes.
Huge. You just feel insignificant, so that in a good way. All your problems are like also insignificant.
yes.
You know what I mean? Like if
Yes.
I'm insignificant next to these beauties, then my problems are nothing. You know, like it just puts things into perspective. Like
Exactly.
boy, you got a good life.
Yes.
You know, it just really it makes you appreciate it. So if
I
you
agree.
can and if you put it on your radar and like go out there, it just
Yeah.
blow you
It's
away.
definitely on my bucket list.
I was able to take my parents too.
Oh,
That's how
awesome.
nice it was. That I was like, you know what? I'm gonna dip into my savings, and we're all going to because it's so worth it.
Yes.
It's life changing. So okay, so you do hiking. That's more where you focus on, but also you're a dancer.
Yes.
That's how didn't that how we like sort of bonded?
Yes, we did. So, we went to high school, but we didn't really talk to each other. It
We were in
wasn't-
different crowds.
Yes, exactly.
Like it happens in high school, you know.
And then when I saw you at UNT, obviously that's when we found out that we both have a passion in dance. And then it's funny how we both started one of like the first salsa organizations at UNT.
Was it called Fuego?
Yeah,
Fuego.
Fuego. Yes, Fuego. And honestly, I mean, that's like where we learned how to salsa dance. I never salsa danced before. I didn't grow up with salsa dancing.
I grew up with norteños.
Yes, exactly.
And that's it, because my family's from Chihuahua.
Yes.
And all they dance is norteño, which
Yes.
is it's a dance, so I always appreciate any dance, but it's very like one note.
Yes.
I want more. I want to loosen my
Exactly.
hips. I want to move
I
my
wanna turn.
booty. I want to twerk. And Caribbean like salsa music, it allows you to do it all.
Exactly.
It's like you want to act the fool, go. And
I
it's
agree.
really fun.
It is
So
fun.
anybody who wants to dance salsa, come find me.
Yes.
I'll dance with men, women.
Yes, he
I
can
don't
follow.
care. I
Yes.
can follow too. So you take me out to dance and we will dance. We've gone out dancing.
Oh, yes,
So
plenty of times.
where can people go to dance? You know more about the salsa scene than I do.
So here in Fort Worth, there's a community called Salsa at the Gardens, and
Okay.
they host free events, free salsa lessons. I recommend following them on Facebook or Instagram. They do have a big Facebook group, and that's where they post all their events. But again, they're very involved in the community. I feel like a lot of the reason this group grew is because they're very focused in sharing their love for dance in the community. So I highly recommend that if you're looking for a place to go salsa dancing, definitely check out Salsa at the Gardens. I've been a couple of their events and they've always been fun. It's very laid back, different types of people, different ages, different levels of dancing, but everybody is so welcoming and they're willing to like teach you, even dance with you, even if you don't know how.
See, that's important because I've been part of several dance groups, just like you have. I won't say groups, but like communities, right? And I think some of the things, and we've talked about this, is that they're not always very welcoming.
Exactly.
They can be very what's the word to use? Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. And if you're like not a pro dancer, they will
Yes.
not dance with you.
Exactly.
And I'm like, ooh, like isn't dance supposed to be like fun and
Exactly.
just like
yeah, just to
I
loosen
love to
up.
dance with anybody.
Yeah.
I'm not the best dancer, but I can move.
Yes.
And if you can move your feet, I'll dance with you, or even if if you're on a wheelchair, people dance.
Exactly.
It's like, that's the kind of inclusivity that I'm looking for, and that, welcoming. That's what dance should be.
It
It's
is.
joyful, inclusive, right? So I'm glad that there's one that exists.
Yes,
Salsa at the Gardens.
Yes, Salsa at the Gardens.
Okay, very cool. And they do like things at Sundance Square too sometimes, right?
Yeah, sometimes they do give lessons at Sundance Square. And I know sometimes at the Water Gardens, that's where they started doing the dance lessons. That's why it's called Salsa at the Gardens.
Okay.
And then sometimes they do Sunday dancing at nights at La Chingona on West 7th Street, and then Lola's Cuban restaurant by North Richland
Okay,
Hills.
cool. I've been to La Chingona.
I think it's in North Richland Hills.
I've been to La Chingona. I
Yeah.
went for a michelada contest for my
Yes.
cousin. Oliver Escobar, Micheladas Escobar, to put him out there,
Yes.
support family. And in the back room, they had Salsa at the Gardens
Yes.
in the back room,
Yeah.
and they seemed very nice. It was very cool. So maybe a quick shout out, Salsa at the Gardens, if anybody's part of that group and you want to join our podcast, I'll try my best to come out to one of your events so we can break the ice and get you in here, because I think it's such a nice movement. Just dance.
Yes.
Like, dance your way through this life.
I agree.
So moving on to your business. Let's talk about that, because I'm really interested. I'm in a phase of my life where I'm learning about business, and I feel like maybe you're on the same page.
Yes.
We've talked about it a little bit. What is your business? What is a VA? Tell us, break it down a little bit, because not everybody understands that.
Yeah. So VA is a virtual assistant. So basically, entrepreneurs or busy professionals hire VAs to help them with tedious tasks that they don't want to deal with.
For example?
Like either social media, data entry, CRM support, which is customer, I don't know the word, or CRM support, newsletters, things where they feel like they're not creative in. They usually hire a VA for those things. And they also with editing, like video editing type of things. So I started this VA business because my experience has been as an administrative assistant in higher education. However, I always seen doing something on my own. I just didn't know in what. And then at the time, I was looking for like a side hustle. I was like, what can I do something from home where I can still earn extra money? And that's where the virtual assistant business clicked. I've heard the term a lot, but I didn't really think about doing it until I did a little bit of more research. And then also another reason why I started is because most of my circle friends are entrepreneurs. So every time we hung out, I would listen to their conversations. And some of the conversations have said like, I don't have time to do this. I don't know how to do this. Or I just I'm frustrated. I'm overwhelmed. So those words kind of clicked me. I was like, well, what about if I can help them? What about if, I can take those tasks away from them? And so that's why I started the VA. And fortunately enough, they were my first clients. Once they heard that I started my VA business, they're like, okay, help me. How do I hire you? And so far it's been a good journey. I actually got my first client through Instagram. She found me on Instagram. I'm sorry, my first out-of-state client. My first out-of-state client found me through Instagram.
Wow.
And she's in New York. And shout out to Healthy Rican, Mayra Colon. She actually started creating her own healthy Puerto Rican seasonings. Ooh. So this is an alternative seasonings with no MSG, no preservatives. And they're mostly Puerto Rican seasoning, like sazon, sofrito, adobo. Ooh. And it's just been a great experience.
Mofongo.
Yes. And she makes really good, delicious recipes using her seasonings. And knowing me as someone who's very passionate about health and wellness, I feel like, oh my God, this is going to be the perfect person to work with.
The perfect fit.
Yes. And yeah, we've been working since October of last year. And it's just been a great experience.
What's the name of your business?
So the name of my business is LLama Assists.
Okay, I love it. And it's right on brand for you. Yes. For people who don't know, tell them why.
Yes, so I'm very obsessed with llamas. I feel like they're my spirit animals. And my husband, he's from Peru. So llamas, llamas are very popular in Peru. So when Jose and I were talking about like visiting Peru and stuff like that, I was researching like, okay, well, let me research some places of where we can visit in Peru. And everywhere I saw was llamas everywhere. I'm like, who are these little creatures? Like, why are they so cute and fluffy? It's so fluffy. And then from there, I just was studying them and what they do. And I'm like, okay, I think this is going to be my spirit animal.
And it's funny enough because I feel like in Peru, I don't know a lot, but I feel like in Peru, llamas are so essential. They're helpers. Yes. So it's like, it fits your brand, they help carry things up the mountains and all these things, right? Yes, so it makes total sense once you know, it's like your spirit animal and llamas are very helpful.
Yes, actually. Exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
And then people these days now, they always tell me like, oh, you're the llama queen, because every time I see a llama, like, I think of you. And I start laughing. And all the gifts that I receive is other llama peluches or like llama journals, llama pencils, everything llama.
Hear me out. I'm watching this show where like the contestants have to create like a marketing campaign. Hear me out. I have this campaign for you where you show the llama, what we just explained, a real llama helping people up to, tourists up a mountain.
Yes.
And then it translates to like, how do llamas work in the U.S.? And they're like typing and helping. A llama sitting at a desk doing all the stuff that other people don't want to do. That should be in LLama Assists.
Well, it's funny. That's my logo. It's actually a llama in a computer.
Oh my God. See, we need to do that. We need to make that happen. And you like to dress up too.
Yes,
So just get yourself a llama costume.
Yes.
And we'll do that video.
Oh, I would love that.
We have access. We're like this studio. What else do we want? Right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I love that you're crazy like me. Bien ocurrente. Okay, so tell us about, we're talking about the small business. We define what it is that you do and the name of your business. What have you learned?
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing this? And then what have you learned in that amount of time? Because you can learn so much even in like a short amount.
Yes. So I've been doing, it's going to be a year and a half. In June, it'll be a year and a half. I started last year in January. And honestly, it has been a really great learning experience. I'm at this point where I'm doing a little bit of everything, but eventually one of my goals is to niche down to a specific service, a specific service. And I don't know what that is yet. I'm still learning. I mean, I know right now most of my clients hire me to do their social media, but I'm still trying to decide if that's the route I want to go. I do enjoy it right now, and I think I'm good at it. I mean, that's why they're hiring me. They keep hiring me. But at the same time, I'm not sure if that's where I want to go.
Right.
So, and I'm not in a rush.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this journey. As long as I'm helping my friends or the people that hire me, that's all it matters for right now. Making sure that I deliver the quality services that they pay for.
Yeah. I want to go back to a conversation we had. And it revolves around, because I do B2B, so businesses. I work with businesses as well. And we go to coffee shops a lot, y'all. Like we're the coffee queens.
Yes, that's another thing.
Right, that's
I
another
love
title.
visiting coffee shops.
We're coffee queens. And we love discovering new coffee. Like we went to La La Land.
Yes.
We went to
Summer Moon.
I love Summer Moon.
And
with their leche condensada secret sauce. Casa Azul.
Yes.
I don't know if we've been to Portico Coffee together for coffee. We've been for events.
But I don't think we actually sat down
So we need
together.
to sit down for coffee there.
Yes.
If you have any other recommendations for coffee shops, especially like Latino owned or like minority owned, that would be amazing because we'll come.
Oh, we went to Crude.
And Crude. On South Main.
Yes, we've been there.
Yeah, that one's a nice
And
place.
Café Jose.
Yeah, actually we've been to, Okay.
So there's been a few.
So going back to, we went on a tangent. Yeah. Going back to working with other businesses, right? Because that's who we work with. One of the things that I've learned, and that you sort of said, I saw you react to that, is that you're not always going to be a good fit for a business.
Yes.
And how we have to start vetting businesses. So I'll share something with you, and then you can share if you feel like. One of the things I've learned when vetting businesses, well, number one, you have to vet businesses, is what I've learned. You don't want to just accept a collaboration or a partnership with just anybody, right? And I'll tell you why. It's because things can go sour, right? Or you're just not a match. It could be a personality thing where you're just like, our personalities are not good, Or it could be just system-wise. Like, you don't have systems, I have systems, we're not a match. Or budget things, right? Like, you don't have a budget, you never thought about a budget. Anything requires a budget. So there's many reasons why working with someone or with a business is not a match.
Exactly.
Have you encountered that?
Yes, I have encountered that. And that's why I decided to, every time I work with someone, we do a 1-month trial contract. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If they're like, okay, I want to continue working with you, then that's where I tell them, okay, it's going to have to be a 3-month contract. So I've learned that to put in there. But it's like, okay, well, maybe they can start off as a rough start and maybe they can change along the way. So that's why I like to give them at least a 1-month trial to work with me. And then eventually they're like, if it didn't work out, we both feel like, you know what, I don't think we were getting much progress. I don't think the communication was there. Like, I would just say, well, it's still been a pleasure for working with you. Hopefully you'll find someone that can easily work with you.
And that's amazing. So you have a system down for vetting.
Yes.
And it's beneficial both ways.
Correct.
That's amazing. And that's what I mean, right?
Yes.
It's like, it's important to be clear on whether this is going to work out. One of the things I've learned, for example, is in working with small businesses, and something that I beg businesses not to do, is if you are, so number one, I mentioned it before and I'll bring it up again, it's like having a budget.
Yes.
Right? Like, have a budget before you approach someone.
Exactly.
And say, look, I have a budget. I want to hire you. Let's start. Like, number one, have a budget. Number two is, making sure that you have a contract, right? To specify things out. Like, words are just not enough.
Correct.
And so I sometimes miss that, and I'm like, I missed it, and I need to double down on that. So, like, really have a contract or an understanding.
Yes.
Right? But it has to be written.
Correct.
That's number two. And then I'm still trying to follow my own advice, right? And that's the thing. Like, let me follow my own advice. So I get it. I get it when it's hard for other businesses to, like, have that mentality, but it's really important so that it just makes things flow.
Correct.
Right? And it makes it work. And then the third thing I've learned is, like, if there's a business that's already struggling, and it's not because you're struggling, it's just because the ground that we're both going to be sitting on is already, like, crumbling.
Yes.
And if the business that I'm working with is having a struggle, whether it's financial or what, it's usually financial, they want us to save them.
Yes.
And it's like, no, that's not how this works, because then you're putting all of your responsibility on us to save you from something you created. And sometimes we don't know what that is. They keep it in the dark, or they don't want to acknowledge it. You know what I mean? And that's dangerous. And I've learned, I'm like, I do not want to work with struggling businesses, as harsh as that sounds, because they're on shaky ground already, and they'll pull you down with them. And I do not need that liability.
No, I agree.
So, like, if you're on shaky ground and you're like, you're like, somebody help me, no, I'm sorry. That sounds harsh, but that's not the people I want to work with. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm ever in a position to help, a drowning ship, a sinking ship, then I will be like, yes, I have all the tools to help you, but that is not who I am right now and what our business does. Is that something you can relate to?
Yes. I've had a previous client who just told me from the beginning, I'm burned out. And just that word, burned out, scared me, because I've experienced burned out and I know how that feels. And I just told her, like, you need to take some time off. You need to slow down, get your stuff organized. But eventually, I don't want to be in that position. I don't want to work with someone who's burned out. I want to work with someone who's passionate, like you say, go-getters, who's ready to take the ball rolling. And if you're not in that space, it's going to be hard to
They have to match your vibe, right? Like, you're in a good vibe.
Yes.
I want someone on that vibe so that we can work well together.
Yes.
Or on a higher vibe so that I can, like, run up to that
Correct.
vibe, like something that will increase my productivity, my vibe, my everything.
Yes.
Right? We want to grow.
Yes.
So that's the whole point.
Yes. I agree.
Awesome. That's amazing. And that's why I love having coffee with you. And, like, I feel like something's bubbling up, like a collaboration, a partnership. And this is us, like, dating in a professional way.
Yes.
I think that's another way of vetting people, right? It's like, coffee date them.
Yes.
Get to know them, before you jump into, like, a relationship, which is a contract. A contract is a relationship.
Yes.
It's a professional relationship. It's a working relationship.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great way of getting to know each other and seeing where you are, right?
Correct.
Sometimes the shadows will come out in these conversations, and that's okay. They're not a make or break necessarily. It's just like, oh, we're getting real, and I love that. So thank you for coming on, Roxanne.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that we're making things happen.
I know.
And that our partnership and friendship even it's growing. I really appreciate that. And that you're a member of the Northside community. So if you guys ever want to reach out to Roxanne about her professional services as a virtual assistant, or if you want to go dancing and you want to know about the scene, like Roxanne knows, if you want to know about coffee places, or you want to,
or brunch places,
or you want to join us for coffee on one of these, like, let us know, reach out. Like, we're available. We're coffee queens. We love to hang out And you'll get to know us, we'll get to know you, and if something pops up or ideas pop up, then great, we'll explore them. Yeah?
Awesome.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Goodbye. Have a great one. See you next time.